I'm gonna be honest, Greg, when I just mixed it with just the Greek yogurt and the peanut butter without adding any salt or sugar or anything, we're talking like first poop, then cinnamon rolls, then score bars. We've reviewed many of Greg's recipes here on the channel, but we haven't reviewed a muffin. Muffins are usually loaded with calories and almost nil protein. But today, in the Anabolic Laboratory, we will be making peanut butter banana muffins that are about half the calories of a normal muffin, but loaded with protein. My name is Nick. I have my master's in exercise physiology, and I make my own anabolic recipes while also reviewing other people's anabolic recipes and anything else to do with fitness as well. So if you're into that kind of thing, like this video and subscribe to the channel. If you're ready to get into the laboratory, then let's get into it. I've never really been a stringer guy, but my lovely girlfriend bought me this as a surprise. And it's actually really comfortable, but we're definitely gonna use it for a review. Like, come on. I know I said in the cinnamon rolls that it couldn't be simpler, even though it ended up being way longer than I expected. This one literally couldn't be simpler. We're gonna get our oven on, and it calls for oat flour. I don't have oat flour, but a really easy way to make oat flour is taking whole oats and grinding them up. Now, if you have a Ninja, which you should if you watch Greg, I gotta weigh it out. Then you should have one of these. It's like the mini shake version, even though shakes are really made in the big one. This is like the mini shake version of your Ninja. So I got it weighed out, and this will take literally like 10 seconds to blend. So I'm gonna blend this really quick. Looks pretty good. There was a couple things that were stuck, so literally that was 3 seconds. I'm gonna give another 3 or 4 seconds here, and we should be good to go. Okay, bye. Now what I'm gonna try to do is put all of this in here so it's like a 1-cup recipe, but I might have to redo it. Either way, it's gonna take me an extra like 5 minutes if I have to redo it, so no big deal. I feel like a little overly ripe banana is actually good for this because they're a little bit more sweet. A little extra salt never killed anybody, and either does a little vanilla. Vanilla and salt only add flavor, and I'm gonna add about 2 grams here. I put about 2 grams less of Greek yogurt than I needed to, so this should make up for it just fine as far as wet ingredients goes. So there should be no issue, and it's only gonna add more flavor for literally a couple more calories. So I'm definitely past the max fill line. This legitimately took me 5 minutes, 6 minutes to get it all in here. Worst comes to worst, I'll redo this, but I think when I push it down with the blades, that it'll actually be just fine, especially because a lot of this stuff is dry ingredients. So we're gonna try and mix this up, and we'll be back in 1 second. The reason they probably have a max fill line is so the stuff at the top goes to the bottom, and that's the one issue I'm having right now. Maybe now that I let the air out, it'll mix. Nope, same thing. So more stuff's getting blended up. I'm just being impatient as hell. Let's take our spoon. There we go, buddy, let's go. Yeah. I think I should have put a wet ingredient on the bottom, like taking the oats out and then put the yogurt and then the oats, because it all got trapped. Everything else is blended just fine. See, this is how you learn this stuff. You have to try it out. This would be the easiest way to do it, but now I know, okay, after I grind my own oat flour up, I have to put the wet ingredients in first, so I have to dump the oat flour out for a second and then put the wet ingredients in so it doesn't get stuck at the bottom. It's all trial and error with cooking. Batter tastes good. I'm finally gonna be able to use these like baking cups that I've had for like literally ever. And supposedly, you're supposed to not have to spray anything on them. So I'm gonna do half of them without it, and we'll see how many muffins we get from this thing. Now, if these end up working, I have like a link for whatever in my Amazon where I got these, but we have to see if they even work first. So I'm just gonna get a regular ass aluminum tray and line these up on here. Now, I usually don't go all the way to the top from what I remember. I haven't made a muffin in a very long time because it'll like go way high up. So we're gonna go like right there. Wait, did I say I wasn't gonna spray the blue ones? Because I didn't, and we're already going. So let me spray the other ones here before I forget. Real quick, that's all it needs. So I guess for anyone wondering, this makes about 6 regular sized muffin cups. I'm really hoping these don't stick, or else I only really have 2 good muffins, but we shall see. I'm gonna throw these in the oven and I will see you back as soon as they're done. How rude of me. We have to make our frosting for the peanut butter. And that is super simple, but I may make a couple tweaks just like I did with the muffins themselves. Now, a little extra salt never hurt nobody, especially when we're talking about peanuts. So I'm gonna add about an extra gram here. And again, vanilla just adds flavor. I'm only gonna add about a gram and a half here though. Based on how this tastes, I'm gonna add a little sweetener. I've had the PB and Greek yogurt on its own, but I don't remember how it tastes. It's been a while. So I will sweeten to my liking. And if you have the cookbook, I'll let you know how much I sweeten it, and then you can use the cookbook for the other ingredient amounts. All right, let's see. See, I still taste the Greek yogurt, which is why I'm glad I'm doing this now. You always want to taste your frosting before you actually put them on the muffins, because once they're on the muffins, a little bit hard to get off. So I'm gonna add a little bit more salt here, and then I'm gonna add a little bit of sweetener and we'll retest it here. All right, let's see where we're at now. I still taste the Greek yogurt a little bit. So we're gonna add a little more peanut butter, because anyone that has an issue tasting the Greek yogurt is not gonna like the frosting and just give up on this recipe. We might be able to make this work right now. I'm gonna be honest, Greg, when I just mixed it with just the Greek yogurt and the peanut butter without adding any salt or sugar or anything, we're talking like 5 out of 10. Not very good, just because it tastes literally like slightly peanut butter Greek yogurt. That one was about, I would say, a 6.5 out of 10, so we're better, but we still have that pungent Greek yogurt taste, which is one of my goals in all my ice creams, is to make sure it never tastes like Greek yogurt whatsoever. All right, our muffins are done. I have to let them cool completely before putting the frosting on. Much better. We're still not there. I think that I could add a little more peanut butter. We're at like a 7.5 out of 10. I really don't want to mess with it anymore though. For anyone wondering that has the cookbook already, I added 6 grams of erythritol, 1.5 grams of salt, 2 grams of vanilla, and an extra 5 grams of peanut butter to what they already call for. And to me, this is like 2 steps up. Like, it's right there between the 7.5 and 8. I don't call it an 8 because I'm not content with it, just like Greg doesn't do. I'm not gonna lie. Essentially, when it started, very slightly peanut butter, Greek yogurt. I would not want it that way. The batter tastes great, so I expect great things from the muffins, but I would have been disappointed if I initially put that all over the muffins and then tried the muffins, because this would have tasted like straight Greek yogurt, and that's the first thing that you bite into. But we will see what the muffins are like here in about probably half an hour. I'm gonna put the frosting in the fridge so that it kind of solidifies a little bit more, and then I'll top these. In the meantime, I'm going to make an orange sauce for my orange chicken that I have coming out in the next few weeks. So I will be right back. And we are back. We have the 9th iteration of my orange chicken sauce. Be ready for some anabolic orange chicken here in a few weeks, completely from scratch. But we also have our frosting, which I've had in the fridge and is now thick. And like with my cookie dough recipe, anytime you let something sit, the flavors get a lot better. So I want to try this frosting again one more time before I top these. Yeah, I think it's so much better. I added about 25 calories to the recipe, but we are talking night and day difference in the sweetness, and not only sweetness, but the actual flavor without the Greek yogurt flavor of the frosting. So with the frosting, I'm not gonna give it a solid 8, even as is. I know I can do better, and I'm a very hard critique, especially on myself. It's right there though. Like 7.5. I could barely taste the Greek yogurt. Mostly sweetness and peanut butter, way better. Now, I'm gonna try the muffins by themselves. Now the blue one is the ones I didn't put any spray, and they pop right out. So if you buy these or any type of silicone ones, you won't have to worry about spraying and forgetting, which I've done before and sucks, because then you take it out and then, you know, you don't even get a muffin anymore. It like crumbles in your hand, half of it's in the silicone or half of it's in the pan or whatever. Definitely well worth it. And I thought they would puff up more, so I didn't fill them up all the way. The recipe says it makes 4 muffins. I'm guessing if I would have evenly distributed them, they would have been just like really fat, tall muffins, but that's okay. We have 6 muffins instead. From just looking at the top, they don't have that typical muffin look, but when we rip it open here, you can see it's very cakey in there, definitely very soft, and the batter was great, so I would expect nothing less, especially for the fact that it's so soft and everything after we actually cook them. Very moist. It's sticking to the top of my mouth, all over the side. As soon as I bite into it, huge rush of banana. The one issue I have right now is that I'm really not getting any peanut butter, even though we did put peanut butter into the muffin as well. As far as a muffin goes, that's like an 8.5 out of 10. It's not like as, I don't know, like it doesn't grow as much and get as big, but it's still super soft. But the regular muffin that's double the calories and no protein has a different like texture to it. Regardless, this is super soft, super moist, tastes exactly like banana. Really, I couldn't ask for more, but just a little bit more of a peanut butter taste. So I'm gonna say 8.5 out of 10 on the muffin alone, 7.5 out of 10 on the frosting alone. Now let's see what we get when they're both combined together. What's weird about this right now is that the frosting is super cold and the muffin, it isn't like hot or even really warm, it's room temperature, but the cold with the room temperature kind of throwing me off. So I'm actually gonna heat it up here. We're trying this all types of ways, Greg. We really wanna know what's good in many different applications of the recipe. I'm only gonna get it in for like 5 to 8 seconds. I don't want it to get like hot then, you know? So even with 8 seconds in, the frosting isn't budging, which is good. I want it to stay thick. I want it to stay on there. So let's see how it is. Yes, I'm not sure if he purposely made the cupcake not taste as much like peanut butter and have a lot more banana taste, and then he knew going into it that the frosting will give you that peanut butter overload that you need when biting into it. But the yin and the yang going on between the frosting and the muffin when they're the same temperature is very, very good. I would honestly combine the scores, 7.5, 8.5. I would say this is an 8. I mean, the carrot cake I had last week by the Key to Fat Loss was unbelievable. That also had a very soft, cakey texture, even more so than this one. So I'm going to say that this is right at an 8 though. It is delicious, tastes like a banana muffin. And let me let you know the macros here. For the entire batch, there's 815 calories, 13 fat, 95 carb, 17 fiber, and 86 protein. I mean, even if you made these into 4, 205 or 210 with my stuff in it, calories per muffin, like that doesn't happen. It doesn't. Not when you have 22 grams of protein in each one. 8 out of 10 to the real muffin. I would say 100% you should try these. If you do, tag Greg obviously, but if you try with my frosting, tag me as well so I can know if you thought that my frosting was good as well. I'm just trying to make modifications to make it taste a little bit better, even if it's a couple extra calories per muffin. But until next time, I will see you in that next one. Doucette.